In this edition of my podcast, instead of talking about purely SBR, I want you to think ahead and think about whether or not it's right for you to do AAA, the audit option. And for that reason, I'm joined by my colleague, Ben Wilson. Hello, Ben.
Hi, everybody. Well, hello, Tom. Thank you for having me.
Now, I know that a majority, but certainly not all, of my SBR students, when they pass SBR, go on to study AAA. Why is that, Ben? Why should people consider doing AAA as an optional exam?
Well, you're right, Tom. It's the most popular options paper. And the reasons for that, I think, are twofold. One is because it builds really heavily on your SBR knowledge. Studying AAA it drives a deeper understanding of financial reporting. And for most accountants, having a good understanding of financial reporting is going to be really helpful in their future career. And you get that deeper understanding of financial reporting because, in the SBR paper, you're learning how to apply the accounting rules or what have you to create your accounts. Whereas in the advanced auditing paper, someone's doing it wrong and you have to understand what they're doing wrong and explain it. So one reason is that it drives a deeper understanding of financial reporting. The second reason is if you've got a really good understanding of auditing, it really sets you up to be a senior finance professional. If you see your future as being a financial controller, a financial director, a CFO, something like that, then you are going to have to deal with auditors and professional services firms a lot in your day-to-day work, at least once a year. But every time your business does anything interesting, you will be dealing with assurance providers, auditors. So it helps to set you up for a lot of the work that a senior finance person is going to do, and because you understand the role of audit, and therefore you're better able to work with auditors in your job.
Can I put in a third one there? I know that some of my students actively do the UK variant for SBR. Now, that's linked to them wanting to have a practicing certificate. Now, I know there's also a UK variant for AAA. Is that right?
Correct. And if you've done the UK variant of SBR, you might as well do the UK variant of AAA because it opens a couple more doors for you. Well, one big door. And that door is that you can get the ACCA's auditing and practicing certificate. This is if you're a UK student. And what that allows you to do is to sign off audit reports at some point in the future. Now, you might not see yourself being an audit partner one day in the future, but it leaves that door open to you if you do the UK variant of both SBR and AAA so that you can get that practicing certificate that allows you to sign off audit reports.
And when we say UK variant, you and I are both based in the UK, but strictly speaking, it's UK and Irish variant as well. And that means that the students who do that variant have to do FRS 102. They have a little bit of extra knowledge to learn. So I love SBR and you obviously love AAA, but why should a student, if they want to do AAA, why should they do it with you, Ben? What's your USP? Talk to my students?
Well, I would say with me, it's personal. So when you come and study AAA with me, and I'm going to be a bit arrogant here, right? I'm going to say I'm the best AAA tutor there has ever been, right? Not just now, but ever, right? Imagine if you're a footballer. I'm Lionel Messi rolled in with Maradona, rolled in with George Best. Anyway, being a bit arrogant, a bit silly, but it's personal. And so all the notes are mine. All the videos are recorded by me. I answer your questions. There's tons of marking in the course because that marking is really important in a paper like AAA because it's so hard to know if your answer is on the right lines in a written exam paper. And so getting really detailed feedback on your work really, really helps. So you'll also find it's very similar to Tom's course, right? Tom and I are two peas in a pod. So we designed our courses together. So if you liked Tom's SBR course and wider support, you will find that mine is very similar. You know, they're different exams, they're different papers, and so our courses are slightly different, but broadly they follow the same principles, which is a personalized journey, a relationship between the tutor and the student to give you the best possible chance of passing the exam.
Thank you, Ben. And yeah, you took the words out of my mouth there in the sense of, Ben was very helpful to me in building my course. And so yeah, you'll be comfortable with Ben. I can give you that. I can give you that validation. Look, Ben, let's not talk forever about AAA because I'm much more interested in SBR. But one last question for you. Um, there is an overlap between SBR and AAA, which you've alluded to. So how are IFRSs? How is the accounting knowledge that students have already got at SBR that they're taking into AAA that gives them the advantage, the head start in AAA? How is it tested?
Yeah, well, there's a really strong overlap actually between students who do well in SBR who go on and smash AAA. Right? And one of the reasons for that is that having a good understanding of the financial reporting standards that you are learning in SBR really sets you up for AAA. So in SBR, you have to apply those accounting standards to I don't know, advise how someone is going to account for something. I'm talking a bit sketchily here because I don't teach SBR, but that's my understanding of the kind of thing you have to do. So in SBR, you're doing, right? You are doing the accounting. In AAA, someone else has already done it, but they've done it wrong. They've done it badly. They've used a terrible assumption or used poor management judgment in part of their calculation, or they've just flat ignored the accounting standards and accounted for something as they want to rather than by the rules. And in AAA, you have to be able to identify that and explain it. So it's really helpful to have that detailed knowledge of SBR so that you can spot what someone is doing incorrectly in an auditing scenario and then explain it clearly. Now, if you are studying SBR at the minute and you are strongly considering going on to AAA, what I'd encourage you to do as you are studying each accounting standard is try and be thinking about what could go wrong with this. How could someone apply this standard incorrectly, particularly around any judgmental areas? That's the kind of thing that, A, it helps to build your understanding of accounting standards, but B, will set you up for the AAA exam.
Good. Thank you, Ben. Right. I did say my last question was a last question, but I still have another last question for you. How do students get hold of you? And do you have any social media outlets?
Of course. So type ACCA Ben Wilson into Google and you'll find loads of places. But I have a YouTube channel where you can you can watch a sample of my videos. I also, you'll see on there, I work for the ACCA as their expert tutor for AAA. So you'll see a lot of my ACCA videos on my YouTube channel. I'm prolific on LinkedIn, maybe not quite as prolific as Tom, but he's my mentor. So I'm trying. So type ACCA Ben Wilson into LinkedIn or YouTube, or you can WhatsApp me. Is it worth reading out my WhatsApp number? Is that a bit painful? Why not? So it's +44 7968 702 318. And if anyone manages to write that down and remember it, I'll be absolutely flabbergasted. But all I've done there is prove I know my own phone number. Anyway, back to you, Tom.
Good. Thank you very much indeed. And until next time, if you want to get hold of me, well, you know how to get hold of me because you've listened to this already. All right. Thank you very much. Good luck, everybody.